Cardiff City, it was also a case of one that got away at Crewe. Carl Dale put them one up from Cohen Griffiths. Good work. The first of many, I'm sure. But then, late on, a lapse in defensive concentration allowed Crewe to gain a point. Sub Aidan Murphy with the free header. Cardiff boss Eddie May was mightily displeased with his side's efforts. Nothing wrong with the first Bournemouth goal. Welsh international Andy Jones with a real beauty. Cardiff actually equalised. Kevin Bond's challenge on Damien Searle looks like 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. But Mark Jones took full advantage. Now this is why Eddie May got upset. Jimmy Quinn with Bournemouth's second. Defender Alec Watson has a free header for the third. And the luckless Gareth Abraham finally helped Andy Jones's shot into his own net to wrap up a miserable night for the Bluebirds.
Cardiff City also showed flair as they drew 1-1 against Blackpool, recording their first point at Bloomfield Road since 1968, having lost on their last 11 visits. But they too had a little help from their opponents. In the 34th minute, Carl Dale's deep cross was aimed at Chris Pike, but was instead intercepted by Blackpool fullback Mike Davis, who promptly fired the ball into his own net. But within a minute, Davis had managed to make up for his error. He floated in a free kick, and one of the visitors' rare defensive errors proved costly as Phil Horner fired the ball home. In a generally disappointing performance, Cardiff went ahead after 30 minutes through Carl Dale's third league goal of the season. Chris Pike taking Cardiff to the edge of the penalty area, just squeezing the ball through for Dale to fire Cardiff into the lead. Halifax are unlucky not to equalise shortly after the interval, but Tommy Graham's shot first hit a defender, then the goalpost before being collected by Gavin Ward. But the home side's deserved goal came just minutes later as Steve Richards finished off Billy Barr's cross, Ward this time beaten. Cardiff were then forced to hang on with just 10 men, both subs having been used when Paul Miller was stretchered off with a sprained ankle. The club saying he'll be out of action for about 2 weeks. Disastrous afternoon for Cardiff, who lost their unbeaten away league record. The visitors failed to take their chances and helped Barnet with theirs. Pat Hurd's back heel creating chaos in the defence. The result, Paul Schouler gets his first goal for the club. Minutes later, Mark Jones is penalised for felling Schouler in the box. Gary Bull fired home the penalty to make it 2-0. But only 4 minutes later again, City managed to pull one back through Carl Dale, his 5th of the season. But once again, Cardiff gave their opponents a helping hand as Bull took on Damon Searle's back pass and just couldn't miss. Cardiff City went down to Mansfield 3-0 as City's defence was found badly wanting. Gary Fee with the header. While shortly after the interval, Mansfield extended their lead, this time Steve Wilkinson tapping in from close range. And although, like Roger Freestone, Gavin Ward produced some fine saves, his afternoon proved less successful as another defensive lapse by City allowed Steve Charles to get Mansfield's third.
Cardiff in the white shorts.
And the blue shirts, for those watching in black and whatever. And the first goal was scored by...
Nathan Blake.
Nathan Blake. That's quite right. And they go 2 up here, actually, with Paul Miller scoring. That's a good goal. That's a good goal, Saint. Can't answer for that. But they get one back order shot, and they haven't won in 11 games. And that's... Big George Berry. You remember old George?
Pace was fast and furious from the off in this full-blooded FA Cup derby, with both sides almost conceding a goal through bad defending. Mark Harris being foiled by Lee Baddeley's clearance, and then new signing Ruben Agbula not able to reach the byline and cross. At the other end, it was Nathan Blake causing panic in the Swansea defence, but his final pass wasn't quite accurate enough for Carl Dale, and then Roger Gibbons miscued. A jolly Roger Freestone in the Swansea goal. Roger Gibbons trying to laugh it off, but if we have a look at it again, you'll see that he really should have done a little better from here. Nathan Blake was involved in the next Cardiff chance, this time Cohen Griffiths dragging his shot wide. So it was really no surprise when Cardiff took the lead 25 minutes into the half. A Neil Matthews corner being met by top scorer Chris Pike. Freestone not standing a chance, although he did manage to get a hand to it, to be fair. 1-0 to City, and deservedly so. But within 4 minutes, Swansea were level thanks to a quite extraordinary piece of finishing by the former striker, Cardiff striker Jimmy Gilligan. Nothing looked on, and then suddenly the ball was in the net. Well worth another look. There's Gilligan, Roger Hansbury helpless as the ball flashes past him. 10 minutes before half-time, Cardiff should have been 2-1 up. From Pike's flick on, Keith Walker's back pass put Freestone in trouble, but Dale missed an open goal but hit the woodwork. A real let-off for Swansea, and what turned out to be an expensive miss for Cardiff. Because 12 minutes into the second half, Gilligan and John Williams set up Harris. A little bit of head tennis there, and as the ball breaks, the Cardiff defence appealed for offside. Harris kept his head and slid the ball home. So 2-1 to Swansea. A great fight back by them. And to be fair, they could have had more. As the match went on, a little bit of pressure here, the ball falling nicely for Andrew Legg, and his shot just going wide. So a great fight back. Swansea City 2, Cardiff City 1.
Soccer and a Tuesday night of deja vu. Swansea against Cardiff. Same teams, almost, same pitch exactly, and same result for Carl Dale, rattling the bar instead of scoring. The competition was different. This was the Autoglass Trophy, not Saturday's FA Cup. But the competitiveness hadn't changed. Swansea's John Williams was the next to go close with a shot cleared from the line. But as on Saturday, it was Cardiff making the running and doing the missing. Chris Pike threading the ball onto the post. Unlike Saturday, there was no violence. Well, off the pitch, that is. On it, Cardiff's Paul Ramsey was adjudged to have elbowed Ruben Agboola in the face, though Cardiff's manager and players were convinced it would have needed a Mike Tyson uppercut to justify Agboola's dramatic collapse to the ground. Referee Smith was impressed, though. Out came the red card, and off went Ramsey to a possible 3-game suspension. But 10-man Cardiff were in no mood for surrender. Chris Pike hammered a shot just wide yet again, before Swansea managed to conjure up the best chance of the night, courtesy of on-loan Joey Beecham, who left 2 defenders flailing in his wake before hitting the inside of a by now severely battered post. And despite an injury-time drive by Thornber, a draw it was, and Cardiff now look favourites to join Bournemouth in the next stages of the competition.
To nip in for number 15 of the season. Cardiff's defence bolstered by new signing John Williams, in trouble just this once. Tony Canham nipping it to equalise. Carl Dale then with 2 goals to seal Cardiff's victory. A bad defensive mistake again coming up. Number 7, Nigel Pepper, the loneliest man on the ground, Dale's 14th of the season. A superb move, though, in the gloom for City's 3rd. Skipper Roger Gibbons to John Williams at the back post. What a tremendous strike by Carl Dale.
A goalless draw at Lincoln meant Cardiff City extended their unbeaten league run to 8 games, and the Bluebirds certainly looked authoritative early on. Damon Searle finding Cohen Griffith on the right, and a chance was clearly on, but Carl Dale and Chris Pike, both under pressure, failed to find the finishing touch. But Cardiff were made to work hard for their point, which was earned courtesy of some solid defence as Lincoln applied the pressure. But even as the minutes ticked away, City still looked in with a chance of victory, the best opportunity coming from their first corner after 72 minutes. But Carl Dale's header was just wide.
Raising the crowd to the pick of their goals. Hughes and Kanchelski is teaming up. Tilt right, McLaren comes between them to steal the glory. He gets more than his share of spade work though. He's resulted in 16 goals for the season now. Webb pivoting to provide his second of the match. Oldham slipping and sliding. Claire keeping his feet and getting a helpful deflection.
Get away picture.
Go put the camera.
I love Ramsey and I want to have his babies. That was brilliant.
Come on, say that. Good ball. Fast. And left.
Cardiff and Wrexham both picked up a point away from home. Cardiff felt they and Nathan Blake should have done better. And then in the second half, only a fine save by Walsall keeper Mark Gale kept out Carl Dale. Mind you, City's Gavin Ward had to pull out all the stops to thwart Rod MacDonald, because the ball falls in the path of Kevin Noteman. Cardiff claim offside as the ball breaks fortuitously for the striker, but number 4 Roger Gibbins was playing him on. Cardiff struck back just before the interval. A lovely turn by Carl Dale, goal number 19 of the season for the striker. The shot going in off Doncaster defender Jackie Ashurst. Yes, you can't expect too much luck when you're at the bottom of the table. Ask Colin Douglas. City's winner coming off the defender's head, leaving goalkeeper Samways in total disbelief.
In the league, Cardiff was celebrating as well last night after an all-important 2-1 victory at Rotherham as the promotion race gathered momentum. Loan signing Eddie Newton giving City a 38th minute lead. 5 minutes into the second half, Nathan Blake got on the score sheet to put City 2-0 up. But Blake was then judged to have handled a free kick, and the Millers, despite City's protests, were awarded a penalty. And duly managed to pull one back as Des Hazel made the most of the rebound from Gavin Ward's save. The win, though, a great one for the Bluebirds, putting them 6th in the 4th division with a game in hand.
Cardiff City have put their name on the Welsh Cup 20 times. 11 times more than Swansea, but Swansea City are the cup holders. 3 months ago, it was a Jimmy Gilligan special that earned Swansea more cup success over their big rivals, this time the FA Cup.
Yes, obviously it's a big game. We're going well in the league, but the Welsh Cup is something special. It offers us a chance to go into European football next season. It's something that has eluded me in my time that I've been down to Wales. Got to the final with Newport, but it'd be rather nice to finish my career on a high. You know, I've maybe only got 1 or 2 years left, so that adds extra spice for me personally.
Well, obviously it means a place in Europe if we go through and go on and win the competition. Regarding tonight's game, it's going to be very hard, but there's big rewards, obviously, as I just said, going into Europe. And I was fortunate enough to win it with Cardiff a few years back, and it's a great time for the club. It obviously earns them quite a bit of money, and it's a good feeling for the lads to go abroad and play against some top players. But also, I went there with Swansea last year as well, and although we got a hiding at Monaco, it was a good experience for us, and hopefully one we'll want to repeat.
It's 13 eventful weeks since a goal from Swansea defender Mark Harris put Cardiff City out of the FA Cup here at the Vetchfield. Cardiff feel the result that November day was not a fair reflection, so the revenge motive will add an extra zest to this tie, which, to be truthful, it scarcely needs. Harris takes his place in a Swansea lineup which shows one significant change from the team beaten at Exeter 4 days ago. Leading scorer John Williams, one of the quickest players in league football, has recovered from an ankle injury and will partner Jimmy Gilligan in the forward line. Attempting to supply the ammunition will be Russell Coughlin, who at 31 is by common consensus playing the best football of his career. Manager Frank Burrows is aiming for a Welsh Cup double, having taken Cardiff into Europe 4 years ago. Well, if Swansea are to put a second dent in Cardiff's cup season, then they'll need to be on red alert defensively. That's because strikers Pike and Dale now have a total of 41 goals between them, including a share out of all 3 last Saturday, as Cardiff made it 5 wins in a row in the 4th division. A run inspired by the arrival of 2 players on loan, Eddie Newton of Chelsea, who patrols centre midfield, and Jerry Harrison from Bristol City, who plays wide on the right. Not surprisingly, Cardiff are unchanged, with Wales B international defender Jason Perry continuing out of position at right back. Paul Ramsey was sent off when these 2 teams met in yet another cup competition earlier this season, the Autoglass Trophy, and his confrontation with Russell Coughlin could go a long way to deciding tonight's outcome. Appropriate that for a match between fierce South Wales rivals, we should have an English referee, Ray Lewis from Surrey. He and his linesman will have to be on their mettle this evening because of the experimental law in the Albright Bitter Welsh Cup, which says that a player can't be offside if the ball is played to him from within his own half of the field. So Cardiff City in their change strip of yellow and blue get us underway. Cardiff in the first half playing from left to right. An early touch there for Mark Harris at the heart of the Swansea defence. And Paul Thornber moves the ball on towards Andrew Legg, but a very sturdy challenge comes in straight away from Jason Perry. And Roger Freestone, former Wales under-21 goalkeeper, looks for Gilligan. And Gilligan there was fouled by Damon Searle, so this is a free kick to Swansea in a fairly dangerous position. Russell Coughlin will surely organise things here as Jimmy Gilligan makes his way into the penalty area. So it'll be Coughlin with a free kick for Swansea City. Looking for Gilligan, and Gilligan got in the header there behind Gareth Abraham, who slightly misjudged his leap. So already the threat is there from Jimmy Gilligan, the former Cardiff City player, who would love to score against his former team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lovely free kick by Russell. Jimmy just possibly a little slightly too high for him, and he's directed it just wide of the far post.
Quite a tussle between Abraham and Gilligan. Gilligan wins it there, but it's away by Searle onto the chest of Coughlin, the playmaker for Swansea City. And that's well done to Rayner. Looking for Legg or Gilligan. It's 2 against 1. Gilligan heads it down, and the shot on the turn from Andrew Legg is only a yard or so wide. So the first real opportunity of the game falls to Andrew Legg.
Yeah, lovely cross from, I think it was Paul Rayner. Jimmy again at the far post, and Andrew Legg just very unlucky there. Ball just skidded in front.
Andrew Legg scored against Monaco in the Cup Winners' Cup this season. Harris. Ford. Route 1. Abraham underneath it. Poor distribution. Here's Legg. Looked for Ford, who'd made the run forward. Gets another opportunity. This is Ford now. Harris. Williams. Legg, good build-up by Swansea. Legg running at Perry and Ramsey, and wins the corner off Jason Perry. Good work by Andrew Legg on the left-hand side for Swansea City. Loves to take players on, and Russell Coughlin will take this corner kick. Takes it short to Ford. Space for the cross. That's dangerous. Gilligan's at the far post, and it slipped through the grasp there of Gavin Ward. A greasy ball, and Ward unable to collect. So another corner to Swansea City.
Yes, but it's the third great cross on the trot now. Gavin Ward obviously a little bit of difficulty in slippery ball.
Walker hoists it high. Harris. Pike. And this is Ford. Excellent first touch again from the big fullback. What a penetrating run. Low towards the near post. Ward was down there. It might even have struck woodwork. What a great burst forward by John Ford, the former Craiglie Heath player, cutting into the Cardiff defences.
Tremendous play by John. Really attacked Cardiff in their own penalty area. Drove a great ball in.
Corner already taken. Coughlin towards Harris. He could not get proper contact on the ball there, Mark Harris, the big centre-back who's joined the attack so many times already in this game. And that was, again, just 3 yards wide. He'll be disappointed perhaps not to have got that header on target from such a close position. So the corner taken short, and Harris put it wide. Gibbons with another long free kick for Cardiff. Pike looks for Dale, and Mark Harris is penalised for leaning on the shoulders of Pike, and so that will be a free kick to Cardiff. Well, Nathan Blake has scored spectacularly from this range recently in the league against Chesterfield. He's coming towards the ball now, along with Roger Gibbons. Could be interesting.
Yeah, he's very much an expert at these type of free kicks, and he's certainly well within his range.
So we've got Gibbons Blake and Newton organising. 3 men in the wall. Abraham at the back post. And it's Blake. Just pulled it slightly with his left foot. Nathan Blake with possibly Cardiff's best effort of the game so far.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he just rushed it a little bit. Perhaps again the occasion, slightly getting to him.
Free kick taken short. Searle. Dale. And away by Walker. Abraham. Newton. No real order to proceedings in the midfield at the moment. Play on. Harrison, Ramsey, good run by Pike. Pike against Harris, and Freestone, not for the first time, very alertly out to the edge of his penalty area to deny the Cardiff City front runner. That time it was Chris Pike.
Yeah, a lovely run by Chris Pike. Roger Freestone coming out of his goals. He polices his area tremendously well.
So last 5 minutes of the first half as the ball eludes Agbula. Dale. Searle. Well, Ramsey's not offside, and here's Chris Pike. Pike with a chance if he can turn. Here's Ramsey, back to Pike, an opening here for Cardiff. They're taking ever so long, but Pike has scored. He took his time, and he scored the goal, which has given Cardiff City the lead, his 22nd of the season. Chris Pike helped out by Paul Ramsey, and at the start of that move, Cardiff City took advantage of the new offside law in the Albright Bitter Welsh Cup. Ramsey was not offside from the long ball forward, and eventually it fell for Chris Pike. He took an earth about it, but eventually he found the net. There's Ramsey, here's Pike. We thought the moment had gone here, but Pike was so cool in the end and scored with his right foot.
Tremendous finish. He shows great composure. It looked at one stage as if the chance was going to be lost. A typical goal scorer. Takes his time, beats a man and sticks it into the opposite corner. Tremendous goal.
So a look at the goal from the other side of the field. As you can see, Damon Searle playing the ball long from inside his own half of the field, so Pike and Ramsey were onside. They combined very well here, although it does seem at this stage as though Swansea have got enough players back there to avert the danger. But Pike, on his right foot, very coolly gives Cardiff City the lead, 1-0. Searle with the deep ball into the penalty area. Falls for Newton. And Rayner, an urgency now about Swansea in the final moments of the first half. They've fallen behind. Abraham, Pike, and here comes Dale. He's just offside. Well, Carl Dale there showing how quick he can be off the mark over short distances. Just mistimed the little dart forward.
Yeah, lovely through ball again, smash and flick. I'm not sure, to be honest, if it was Carl Dale.
Leg with the throw, away by Abraham. And that's the end of the first half. Swansea City perhaps have had the better of things in terms of territorial play, but the goal has gone to Cardiff City. It came just a couple of minutes from the end of the first half. Chris Pike it was who took an eternity, but eventually finished very coolly indeed to give Cardiff City the advantage. At half-time at the Vetchfield, the score is Swansea City 0, Cardiff City 1. So Swansea City, holders of the Albright Bitter Welsh Cup, with work to do in the second half if they're to maintain their grip on the trophy. And I'm sure manager Frank Burrows will have told them to make better use of these very useful crosses they've whipped in the game so far. But Jimmy Gilligan and Mark Harris coming up from the back haven't been able to take advantage, and they were caught out to the sucker punch, the long ball downfield by Damon Searle, and Chris Pike capitalising to score that excellent goal. Sliced away by Walker, so a throw for Cardiff City. Nathan Blake with a throw in for Cardiff. Searle. Damon Searle still going forward. Tried to play it forward for Harrison. That was well read by Walker, but Newton gets in there. Searle finds Blake. Blake delivers a telling cross, and Roger Freestone almost lost that, and Carl Dale was ready to pounce. A vicious cross curled in low by Nathan Blake, a bit too close to the goalkeeper, but Cardiff almost able to capitalise. Legg. A throw then to Swansea City as Harrison fails to clear. Andrew Legg taking advantage. Will this be one of his long ones? They scored from one of these on Saturday at Exeter. Instead it's short. Coughlin to Legg again. It's a good cross. Gilligan. Rayner miskicks, but it breaks for Gilligan again. Rayner. That should be Gavin Ward. Oh, he's dropped it, and it's scrambled into the net. No, it's hit the post and over the bar from Williams. Andrew Legg surely should have scored there, as Ward unforgivably dropped the cross.
Here we are again. Up and under. It's a straightforward catch for the keeper, but he's either taking his hands off it. It's obviously slippery. And it looks inevitable that Andrew Legg is just going to stick it in. But Roger Gibbons, to be fair to him, does exceptionally well. And also blocks the follow-up. I mean, it's tremendous defending.
So the corner to be taken by Coughlin. To the far post, Harris. Williams. Real pressure on the Cardiff goal. And this time that will be a goal kick. Dale now for Cardiff. Still Dale. Thornber wins the challenge. Rayner. Good work by Searle. He made that. Here's a chance for Cardiff on the break. Searle with the shots, and that's certainly extended Roger Freestone. Although perhaps the ball across the face of the penalty area might have found Chris Pike in a better position. Searle chancing his arm. Now it's...
Good tackle by Damon. Again, he attacks the box. He's looked up. And just... Roger Freestone has reacted again well.
So Frank Burrows, the Swansea City manager, about to introduce a substitute. Jason Bowen is about to enter the arena. The young midfielder who likes to push forward. He replaces Paul Rayner. Harrison loses out to Ford. Gilligan. Could break for Williams rather fortuitously. Williams, that's nice, and this is Legg. He has space, needs a good cross. That's not bad, looking for Williams, away by Newton. Could break for Coughlin, and that deflected away off Paul Ramsey for a corner. So, a surge of power now from Swansea City. 20 minutes into the second half, Russell Coughlin with the corner. Harris attacks the ball, gets there, but misdirects the header. Thornber. Bowen, the substitute, his first touch. Takes on Ramsey. Bowen goes to the byline, away off Ramsey for another corner. So, sustained pressure now from Swansea as they seek out this equaliser, trailing 1-0 at the moment. Harris with a header, it breaks in front of goal, it's away by Perry. Not for long, Perry again. Coughlin. Legg. Not quite the touch he wanted there, but still Legg. Excellent work now by Legg. Williams. Thornber. Straight at Gavin Ward. Good positioning though by the goalkeeper. Light on his feet. Had that covered all the way.
Good run again from Andrew Legg. Swansea definitely up the pressure over the last couple of minutes. I mean, they've obviously got to do something to get themselves back into the game.
Nathan Blake with the throw for Cardiff. Chris Pike. Still Pike, running at Harris. Good burst of speed from Pike and an excellent cross. Dale couldn't quite get in the header. Coughlin is there to cover. Well, that could have been the second goal, snatched against the run of play by Cardiff and Chris Pike. Super play here by Chris Pike.
Chris Pike, yeah, he shows great pace. I mean, he's an exceptionally quick player again. Great cross in, and Carl Dale is very unlucky. Good play by Carl.
Walker away, back by Newton, and Bula with a dangerous back pass. That could be an own goal. Oh, beautifully saved in the end by Roger Freestone. He can't have been expecting that.
Almost a nightmare for Ruben, but shows great agility, Roger. Does really well at the end.
Pike's nudge on. Dale. Newton. Searle available. And here's Blake on the left-hand side for Cardiff. Agbula is covering. Still Blake. Agbula will win that surely. Blake does ever so well to free Searle. And this is Ramsey. Dale. That runs away off Walker. And Dale used his arm illegally. And that'll be a free kick to Swansea on the edge of their own penalty area. Into the final 10 minutes, Cardiff supporters sensing perhaps their side could be through to the semi-finals. Bowen. Coughlin. Bowen. Bowen takes on Searle. Let's see what sort of cross he delivers. Well, he wins the corner kick to Swansea. John Ford is up there, and it's towards the back post, and it just flicks away for another corner kick to Swansea. So they're pressing on the accelerator. The corner's taken short to Bowen. Ford. Still Ford. Looks for Gilligan and headed away by Blake. Thornber from 25 yards. Always rising. The crowd got excited, but it was always going to clear the crossbar by a good couple of yards. Steve Thornber again trying his luck from long range.
Better effort this time from Steve Thornber, but again the ball is always rising, and again shot from 30 yards, no real troubles to the goalkeeper.
Dale, can he break free down the far side? Carl Dale has the pace, he's still going, picks himself up. Play continues. This is Griffith and Pike. The seconds ebbing away. Cardiff will want to keep the ball in the Swansea half. We're in injury time at the end of the game. There won't be too much of that. As the throw is about to be taken by Perry. Perry, the referee not happy. And Swansea will be given possession here. Walker. Long. Bowen is in there. This could be drama in the final seconds as Bowen got the header in. He wasn't offside. Gavin Ward there caught in two minds, but Bowen could not direct the header. A long ball downfield from Walker and almost a dramatic finish in the final seconds of the game.
Just a slightly better contact, and I'm sure that the ball would have gone in.
Coughlin, they're going backwards. The crowd disappointed. Coughlin away by Searle. Could fall here perhaps for Newton. Newton turns and does well. Coughlin. Jenkins. Jenkins against Blake. And Blake does his job ever so well. Still play continues. And that is the end of the game. The holders, Swansea, are out. Cardiff City have won their 6th game on the trot. And could it be the game which opens the gateway to European football? Chris Pike scored a goal of outstanding quality to separate the two sides. Swansea certainly had their opportunities, notably when Roger Gibbins cleared miraculously off the line from John Williams after Andrew Legg had hit the post. But 3rd Division Swansea City are out. Cardiff City and manager Eddie May absolutely delighted, and a final word from Alan Curtis.
Yeah, I would say that Cardiff just about deserved the result. They defended well, and when they broke, they looked as if they could possibly have got 1 or 2. Swansea probably dominated the game territorially, but Cardiff did really well.
Cardiff then firm favourites for the Cup. They've won by 1-0.
Welshman Richard Jones and Chris Fry involved in the build-up to Hereford's first goal. Put away well by Simon Brain. Cardiff's defence not really up to scratch, and they conceded a second to Fry himself just after the interval. Fry given a free by Cardiff last season. It looked very much as if the Bluebirds' unbeaten run was at an end, but they scrambled their way back. That's a good sign in itself. Paul Ramsey's header in off keeper Alan Judge to make it 2-1. The keeper's judgment rather suspect, though, when he and fullback Greg Downs tried to deal with Eddie Newton's long ball. Jerry Harrison gets his toe to it first to give Cardiff a valuable point. Into first half injury time, Steve Norris puts Chesterfield in front. Still time for Cardiff to restart, and in fact for Chesterfield to mount another attack. A half clearance, but Sean Dyke's shot is deflected in off Roger Gibbons. A good old half-time rollicking from coach Eddie May worked wonders. 8 minutes into the second half, Cohen Griffith and Eddie Newton combine well. Chris Pike again to Newton, and the on-loan Chelsea man bundles it into the back of the net. Then, with the home fans demanding the final whistle, this incredible game had a final twist. A long, hopeful ball by Damon Searle is headed down by Cohen Griffith. Sub Gareth Abraham makes a mess of it, but Carl Dale makes no mistake. 2 in a week, goal 22 of the season. Someone was sure to miss out on a Saturday sandwich between Friday the 13th and the Ides of March. Paul Ramsey and his Cardiff teammates certainly did. They also came across a keeper in Scunthorpe's Paul Musselwhite in breathtaking form. Lee Baddeley and Carl Dale can vouch for that. Then at the other end, with time running out, a deflection by Ramsey on John Buckley's free kick took the ball agonisingly away from keeper Roger Hansbury. And Cardiff's poor run of results continued.
Cardiff, who've not won at Northampton for 45 years, had the frustration of keeping that record. And it was their finishing that once again let them down, although play wasn't exactly helped by a poor, bumpy pitch. Carl Dale's 27th minute attempt going wide. City keeper Roger Hansbury found himself under pressure in the second half. Christian McLean first with a volley, then a header, as Northampton looked the brighter in attack. The Bluebirds, still in 7th place, must now regain the scoring touch, as tomorrow night sees the all-important fixture at home to second-placed Blackpool.
At Rochdale. Gary Bellamy unlucky in attack, but then at fault in defence when Alan Reeves beat him to the right-wing corner. Cardiff were unlucky not to equalise Cohen Griffith's effort coming back off the crossbar. But the weakness up front is costing them valuable points, and as they pushed up, they were caught again at the back. Andy Milner's second, giving Rochdale the edge in the playoff zone.
Cardiff won't thank Wrexham referee Mr J Lloyd for allowing their match at Scarborough to go ahead last night in appalling conditions. Looking uncomfortable, City went behind to a Riccardo Gabbiadini goal after 19 minutes. They did rally in the second half, and ironically, the disgraceful state of the pitch played a vital part in the equalising goal. When defender Curran slipped, Chris Pike struck his 24th goal of the season. Number 25 wasn't long in coming, and the Bluebirds must have sensed a silver lining when Pike's curler put them ahead. A great finish by the striker, which wasn't reflected in the way his team finished the match. With the final whistle moments away, Cardiff conceded a free kick. And it was Curran who gained the point for Scarborough, took 2 away from the Welsh side, and quite possibly consigned Cardiff to another season of 4th Division football.
It proved a miserable return to his old club for City keeper Roger Hansbury. Robbie Painter firing the home side ahead within 30 seconds of the start. Cardiff did grab a deserved equaliser in the 29th minute. Cohen Griffith finding Carl Dale, who pushed the ball onto the oncoming Nathan Blake. His acute-angled shot doing the job, but they couldn't stop Burnley from marching on. A 3-minute second-half blast stunned the Bluebirds. A long ball from Ian Measham was headed on by John Deary, and Andy Farrell was on hand to make it 2-1. And then City made a mess of a Burnley corner. Everybody having a go in the goal mouth. Striker Mike Conroy had the final word. Burnley 3, Cardiff City 1. The Bluebirds managed to secure their win with an early 3-minute blast. Tremendous control by Nathan Blake, but although striker Chris Pike was credited with the goal to equal Carl Dale on 27 for the season, it looked more like an own goal from Mark Sartori. Within 3 minutes, it was 2-0. Pike and Blake prominent again. Another well-judged pass from Blake, but this time there was no mistaking the scorer. Pike leaving keeper Mark Morris with no chance. With just 5 minutes remaining, Cardiff got their third. Jason Perry with a long ball, and substitute Gary Gill managed to beat Wrexham defender Andy Thackeray to fire home his first goal for the club. Cardiff must produce more of the same against Crewe tomorrow night to keep their promotion hopes alive.
If we don't go up this season, we'll probably set goal-scoring records, point-scoring records for the 4th Division next year. I will have 15,000 people scrambling to get into Ninian Park next year if we're still in the 4th Division. We'll have the finest team they've ever seen. One of the great things, one of the great successes this year has been the supporters. The supporters have said to me, Rick Wright, we'll support you if you give us what we want. Now I know that we can get 15,000 every game in here. I'll go out and I'll get the players. At the end of this season, a number of players will be leaving Ninian Park who we inherited at the beginning of the season. We have a situation where next year we can totally and completely change the picture. The supporters have said, we'll support you, I'll give them the team they want. Now I think we'll be in the 3rd Division. If for any reason that we're not, they'll see a 4th Division team and a 4th Division campaign they've never seen before.
Good evening to you from the National Ground at Cardiff Arms Park for this all-bright bitter Welsh Cup final. It's an intriguing contest between 4th Division Cardiff City, who last won the Cup in 1988, and the English club Hednesford Town, who hail from the Midlands, Black Country, and a coal mining background which has given them the nickname the Pitmen. For them, it's their first ever appearance in the final. Cardiff City are aiming for a 21st win in the competition. This is how both the clubs made it here. Cardiff City's route to the final reasonably straightforward, though Stourbridge took them to a replay. Big rival Swansea City knocked out thanks to a Chris Pike goal, and his partnership with Carl Dale a key factor.
Break for Blake. Owen Griffith turns it on to Dale. Dale against Crewe, and again the Newport defender does ever so well, but Dale still has it. Blake is in there, and so too is Chris Pike. And Chris Pike opens the scoring. Seamark with the corner. Blake lets it go, and the header comes in from Owen Griffith. Gibbons with the throw. Dale with a nudge. And here's Dale in for goal number 3. Carl Dale. Searle. Well, Ramsey's not offside, and here's Chris Pike. Pike with a chance if he can turn. Here's Ramsey, back to Pike, an opening here for Cardiff. They're taking ever so long, but Pike has scored. He took his time, and he scored the goal. And still Cardiff come forward. Searle. Carl Dale, that's it, number 2. His 26th goal of the season. This is Dale. Through to Searle. Great chance for Searle. That's it, 3-0. Dale. What a great jump for such a small man. Jones. Inside to Newton. Jones. That's it.
Hednesford Town, 3 comfortable wins against Welshpool, Penryn, Cork and New Broughton, but they needed replays against Cley and Haverfordwest. A big test for the English club, a hard-fought win against Colwyn Bay in the semis. A 1-0 victory at the Cross Keys set up the second leg at Colwyn Bay. And there was controversy over their first goal, as Russell Turley's through pass was definitely played in the opponent's half, the linesman not spotting what most of the home crowd did, but Terry Knight capitalised as the Bay defence waited for the referee's whistle. The second goal came from a neat piece of play down the right-hand side, with Joe O'Connor finishing off in style. And there was no doubt about their third, a superb 30-yard drive from Andy Walsh, securing Hensford's place in tonight's final. Both teams set then. News of the lineups and match commentary now from Ian Brown.
A damp night by the River Taff, but once more the Arms Park has been transformed into the ideal football setting. And for Hensford Town, this is by far and away the greatest day in their 112-year history. But if Cardiff City can fulfil their role as overwhelming favourites, then it'll be Roger Gibbins who lifts the trophy, something he's rather anxious to do. The captain has been a servant to Welsh club football for 11 seasons now with Cardiff, Newport and Swansea, but has never won this competition. This could be his best chance yet as he leads a Cardiff side which is at full strength. Defender Jason Perry has recovered from chickenpox, and this could be a sentimental occasion for 37-year-old goalkeeper Roger Hansbury, who retires as a full-time pro tonight after 20 years serving 10 league clubs. Well, while Cardiff have Pike and Dale with over 50 goals between them, Hensford of the Beezer Homes League possess O'Connor and Burr, who can boast more than 60. Indeed, O'Connor scored in both legs of the semi-final win over Colwyn Bay. Righteous White and Kevin Collins have both appeared at Wembley in finals of the FA Vase and FA Trophy, so should not be daunted by these surrounds. Well, like the two teams, FIFA referee Howard King is making his first appearance at the Arms Park. He has, though, taken charge of 2 Welsh Cup finals before, but back in the dark ages when they were two-legged affairs. Howard King from Merthyr. So Cardiff City get us underway in their quest for tangible reward from a season which has so far delivered less than it's promised. They missed out, of course, on promotion from the 4th Division. And let's not forget the experimental offside law in the competition this season. A player can't be offside if the ball is played to him from within his own half of the field. And certainly Hensford have been excellent exponents of that rule in the competition so far. This is Cohen Griffith turning it on for Cardiff. Pike is being marshalled by Freeman. And that's a great turn by Chris Pike. And the first corner of the game goes to Cardiff City inside the first couple of minutes. Chris Pike on 28 goals for the season so far. So it's the captain, Roger Gibbins, to curl over the corner for Cardiff City. Abraham's up there, and the header from Gareth Abraham just off target, and maybe Chris Pike rather got in his way there, the two Cardiff players both going for the same ball. But a nicely played corner from Roger Gibbins. The goalkeeper thought about coming, changed his mind, and Gareth Abraham just off target. Forward by Collins. A lucky ricochet, and Burr turns it on towards Turley, but Damon Searle is there. Blake. And Kevin Foster is across to concede the throw. Carl Dale being tracked by Foster. Support from Searle. And still Searle, Gibbins, Dale, and a great chance for Chris Pike, who couldn't quite stretch far enough as the cross was swept in by Carl Dale. Chris Pike just a couple of inches too short, and he couldn't quite get studs to the ball, which surely was all he needed. But Damon Searle loves to force his way forward from the left-back position. He caused the danger initially, but a let-off in the end for Hensford. This is Dale Rudge, former Wolves player with league experience. O'Connor almost gets in there behind Bellamy, and that could be a penalty. They're looking at the referee, Howard King, who shakes his head. And that did look as though it might have been a foul by Roger Hansbury, almost let down by hesitation in front of him by the man on loan from Wolves, Gary Bellamy. Rudge with a clever ball forward. Bellamy unsure of his positioning here. He was beaten by O'Connor, and Roger Hansbury can consider him fortunate not to be facing a spot kick. That could fall for Walsh. And O'Connor. And Burr with a shot, and that has just dipped wide of the far post. Steve Burr trying his luck from just outside the penalty area. The man with 32 goals this season certainly has an eye for the target, and Roger Hansbury relieved because he was slightly out of position. It was Walsh who won the ball first of all. Abraham failed to intercept. Perry was beaten in the challenge, and Burr a little unlucky. Oh, an excellent turn by Turley. And now it's O'Connor. Still O'Connor. He beats Searle. O'Connor towards the far post, and Burr, who wins the header, and the ball is only just over the crossbar. A matter of inches in it, and all the best chances in the first half so far have fallen to Hensford, and the alarm bells must be ringing now surely for Cardiff City. Hesitancy again at the back, and Burr won that with ease against Jason Perry in the air, and Damon Searle was shrugged off the ball too by O'Connor, and Roger Hansbury again under threat. Let's see what Jason Perry can do. Pike, Griffith, back to Pike. This is better from Cardiff City. Oh, but Pike loses it momentarily. Perry in support. This is Dale. And that's a corner to Cardiff City. Carl Dale busy as ever, but the Cardiff City front line not functioning properly at the moment. Away by Freeman. Gibbons turns it back, looking for Abraham. But no panic there from Hensford. That is cool football under pressure. This is Burr. And White. And Burr. Excellent football from the part-timers. Burr into the penalty area. And away by Jason Perry. Well, Steve Burr really enjoying the surrounds here. And posing a constant threat. Burr again, looks for a free kick, but instead that's comfortable for Roger Hansbury. Pike underneath that run, looks for Dale, who turned ever so well and could score here for Cardiff City, and he has! In truth, it's totally against the run of play, but the Pike-Dale partnership works again, and Carl Dale ever so alert inside the penalty box. You can't allow him an inch of space, and he took full advantage to score on the half hour. So route one for Cardiff City. Hansbury, Pike gets the better of Foster, and that was an excellent turn and control under pressure from Dale, and despite the best efforts of the goalkeeper Paul Hayward, who did all he could, Carl Dale showed composure to strike it with his right foot on the slide, and Cardiff City lead by 1-0. And let's face it, they're rather fortunate to do so. Sure, Coach Eddie May will have plenty to say at half-time despite the scoreline, because this hasn't been a very good Cardiff City performance so far. This is Dale. And Searle. And Pike is onside. Remember the experimental law, but the goalkeeper beats him to it. Paul Hayward needed to be very quick there. And here come Hensford. Burr pushes it forward. Looks for O'Connor. This is Turley. Gets beyond Bellamy. But Burr has to chase out to this near side and is beaten to the ball by Jason Perry. But it is a throw to Hensford. Rudge. White. Freeman. Abraham under this one, but beaten in the air by Knights, and Hansbury has to punch. Burr. And did that take a deflection? No, it didn't. Goal kick. And Steve Burr certainly thought that was a corner, and Roger Hansbury thought the defending should have been just a little bit better. So Roger Hansbury very unhappy with the quality of some of the defending in front of him and forced the punch clear. Collins looking for Knight. Abraham. Perry. Away by Foster. Ramsey. Burr battling in midfield. It took both Gibbons and Ramsey to stop him. And this is Searle. Walsh. O'Connor. Knight. Abraham with a miss kick, and here's a chance for O'Connor. The ball held up for him. He gets it across the face, and there was Terry Knight stretching. Couldn't quite get there. But O'Connor with mazy skills. Again, spread-eagling the Cardiff defences. Gary Bellamy unable to cope there. A very smart turn, and Knight caught off guard perhaps in the middle. Perhaps the Hensford centre-forward will reflect on this and feel that maybe he should have made contact as the ball came across. Away by Foster. Perry. Telegraphed that, and away by Collins. Now then, Chris Pike and Roger Gibbons on the overlap. Good run by the captain, and Blake had to stretch for the header and couldn't get it down. But to be fair, Nathan Blake got into a very good forward position there. Just trundling forward there, Nathan Blake, and then the burst of speed. Cohen Griffith tries to hold off Kevin Collins and indeed wins a free kick for Cardiff City. So a chance in the final seconds of the first half for Cardiff City to try and snatch a second goal, which really would be an injustice. And Nathan Blake will deliver the cross. Bent towards the far post. In there is Bellamy, but the ball had already floated behind for the goal kick. Bellamy, a useful presence to have at the far post. The tall player on loan from Wolves. So both Pike and Bellamy at the far post, and Bellamy ran out of space. So that's half-time, and Cardiff City can certainly feel a very fortunate side. Carl Dale scoring for them just before the half hour, his 28th goal of the season, but in truth Hensford have created the better opportunities, and Steve Burr has twice come very close to scoring for the non-league outfit. At half-time though, it's 1-0 to Cardiff City, the favourites. So underway in the second half, Cardiff City no doubt hoping their superior fitness tells over these next 45 minutes and that they have a more comfortable ride. Both teams in the first half had one or two problems with the length of the grass, and due to it raining throughout half-time, the surface could become increasingly slippy. Cardiff then attacking the River Taff end, all in blue. And this is Carl Dale, scorer of the goal in the first half, and Gibbons. Dale. And Gibbons, intelligent run forward, and Cohen Griffith coming in at the back post, and he clattered into Kevin Collins, not before Collins had headed the ball away under pressure from Griffith, and that was a nasty bang taken by the Hensford captain. Roger Gibbons moving forward powerfully, excellent defending, and Griffith followed through with his shoulder, and that probably did the damage. He needed to go for the ball, of course, Collins, and Griffith into the back of his head, it seemed. And a nasty blow. The miscue by Freeman, and this is Pike. Rudge needs to hurry, gives it away, and is helped out in the end. And Rudge has it again. Ramsey. Griffith let it run to Pike. Ramsey. Griffith. Looks for Dale at the back post. But that runs free to Walsh and Turley and Burr. This is excellent football from Hensford. Collins. But it breaks down again. Has Carldale got the pace here? Pike comes to the near post and headed away by Foster. Back in by Perry. So Cardiff pressing in the early stages of the second half, knowing that a second goal could well seal it. Dale playing a little bit wide in the early part of this half, and he wins the corner. Carldale now level with Chris Pike with 28 goals for the season. And Damon Sir will take the corner. Gary Bellamy on the near post. It's curled in towards Abraham, and it almost fell for Chris Pike. But he saw his life flash before him there. And Gareth Abraham with the first touch just took it away slightly from Chris Pike. But the corner was very well flighted. Away by Rudge, only as far as Jason Perry. Carldale. This is Cohen Griffith. Picked out ever so well by Dale. Still Griffith. Blake. Roger Gibbons. Well away by Freeman. Ramsey. Blake. Still Blake. Delayed too long there, Nathan Blake, but Dale is in there. This is O'Connor. Twists and manages to get in a shot under pressure from Abraham. So the threat still there all the time from these effervescent Hensford front runners. O'Connor and Burr still trying to carve something out up front. And he just lost his balance, but still managed to hook in the shot. And that was well won in the air in the first place by Terry Knight. Burr. O'Connor. Burr. Bellamy. Only as far as Turley. That's intelligent play. Burr's in there. It eludes him and Knight. Gibbons. Burr. Rudge made that his. And Collins and Walsh, lots of support for Hensford. Certainly the crowd from Staffordshire beginning to build up the noise. And Hensford manager John Baldwin must be a little bit frustrated at the moment, but perhaps he still senses his side can snatch the equaliser. Here comes Roger Gibbons after the slip by Freeman. Gibbons going forward, and he's pulled down by Foster. Foster felt he got a touch of the ball there. But he obviously caught the shin of Roger Gibbons as well. So Roger Gibbons in full flow towards the edge of the penalty area, and, well, he might just have touched the ball, but he certainly took Gibbons as well. surely there can be not too much of an argument about the award of the free kick, though Foster is putting his case. And Hensford needing to do some defensive organisation. Carl Dale on the end of the wall. And Pike is to strike the free kick, perhaps, or maybe Ramsey. It is Pike. Gibbons. And that's cleared off the line as the shot came in from Dale. Now it's Blake, and that's over the top of the crossbar. So Carl Dale almost sniffing out his second goal of the match. The goal which might have settled this all-bright bit of Welsh Cup final. But Carl Dale, the North Walian, after this clever free kick manoeuvre, something off the training ground that almost managed to force it in, but the goalkeeper was down to clear it away with his foot. And that really the best save of the match so far, produced by Paul Hayward. Ramsey, and this is Blake, that's a clever turn. Griffith unable to capitalise, but this is Perry, and Pike is in there. Rudge with the acrobatics. Ramsey. Oh, he delayed all night. But here's Blake. Oh, that's a tremendous effort from Nathan Blake. Out of nothing. Paul Ramsey lost concentration, but the ball still fell for Nathan Blake. And Nathan Blake produces a little bit of magic, tees it up, left-footed drive, and the goalkeeper might not have got there. Well, Ramsey in dreamland, but not so Nathan Blake. A vicious shot, worthy of a goal. And this is Blake, brought down there perhaps by Knight, but the referee waves away any protestations, and to be truthful, there weren't many from Cardiff City players. And Roger Hansbury takes his time. Just 20 minutes left as a full-time professional footballer, Roger Hansbury. So Cardiff City about to make a substitution with some 20 minutes remaining. Paul Miller, the former Port Vale striker, is about to come on. He's had a season dogged by injury, but will relish this chance to play in the cup final. Owen Griffith, who took a knock a few moments ago, was forced to make his exit. And at the same time, Steve Snaith is on for Hensford, midfield player. So Snaith on in place of the fullback White. And Miller on for Cardiff. Bellamy with a free kick. Abraham, Miller, and that shot is deflected just wide. Almost a goal with his first touch. Paul Miller, the big striker, sniffing out the opportunity from the edge of the penalty area, and the deflection took it away from the goalkeeper. The header down by Foster, and the deflection also off Foster, and the goalkeeper was groping. Gibbons gets a good angle for the cross, but maybe needed more height on it. Turley presents it to Blake, a dangerous thing to do. Here comes Blake with his left foot, and got underneath it. He was having his shirt tugged inside the penalty area there, but he still managed to manoeuvre into a shooting position. Nathan Blake certainly had the right idea, going directly for goal after the loose clearance by Turley. He took on Dale Rudge, and there Rudge was tugging at his shirt, but he leant back too far. This is Ramsey and Pike. Ramsey, and this is Snaith, and that's a great ball towards Burr, but it just gathered pace off the greasy pitch and ran away for the goal kick. But there they were trying to exploit the offside law by playing the ball long from inside their own half of the field. Harris's team are just 5 minutes away from lifting the Welsh Cup. And the official man of the match, the very busy Carl Dale, the man who scored the goal. After half an hour, the goal by which Cardiff City lead Hednesford 1-0. O'Connor. Still Hednesford have thoughts of maybe forcing extra time. But now it's a free kick to Cardiff City for the foul on Paul Miller. Nathan Blake getting involved, and it's Collins, the captain, who committed the offence. There was Miller trying to turn and taken from behind by Kevin Collins. Nathan Blake now. Will he stretch his legs? He does. And that will be cleared surely by Rudge. Impressive player, Dale Rudge. Perry finds Ramsey. Ramsey plays it forward straight onto the head of Collins, though. And this now is Roger Gibbons. Curls it down the line, but Carl Dale is caught offside, and that's one of the very few offside flags we've had in the game. Just 2 minutes remaining, and Gary Gill is going to get a taste of the Arms Park atmosphere. The Cardiff City substitute, signed from Darlington just before the transfer deadline, and he replaces the Cardiff City captain, Roger Gibbons. Roger Gibbons, who's hoping to collect the cup in a couple of minutes. Come Cardiff again. Carl Dale this time brushed aside by Mark Freeman. Ramsey. Turned on by Foster. Inside the final minute. Jim Brown has come on as a second substitute for Hednesford. But here come Cardiff on the break with Perry and Dale. Hednesford pulling men back all the time. Perry thrusting forward, and Pike. Inside the final minute, Gary Gill with his first touch. Bellamy. Blake. Cardiff just keeping the ball. Satisfied with 1-0. And they've been given a really tough fright by this very solid-looking Hednesford side, who've shown a fair measure of skill as well. Well, it'll need a long clearance now from Paul Hayward. That'll be a throw to Hednesford. Maybe their last throw of the dice. Forward by Rudge. Ramsey. And Gill, and this will be a free kick to Hednesford for the foul on Burr by Damon Searle, so maybe their last opportunity. Into injury time at the end of the 90 minutes. Cardiff City and Eddie May just moments away from capturing the Albright Bitter Welsh Cup. But Eddie May knows that Cardiff have conceded a lot of goals this season from set pieces. And the free kick is to be taken by Dale Rudge. Played it in low. And Snaith, the substitute, was lining up a shot. But that is the final action. And Cardiff City can celebrate the end of a long season. Disappointment in the 4th division. They couldn't quite make the promotion playoffs. But they have captured the Albright Bitter Welsh Cup for only the 2nd time in 15 years. But sympathy for Hensford and their supporters, because they made the trip here from Staffordshire and gave a very fine account of themselves, beaten by just the 1 goal scored in the first half by man of the match, Carl Dale. Cardiff City 1, Hensford Town 0. Roger Hansbury signing off at the end of an illustrious professional career in the grand manner. The Cardiff City goalkeeper who kept a clean sheet in his final full-time professional game. So this is the moment Roger Gibbins has been waiting for. 11 years of footballer with Welsh clubs, and at long last he's going to get his hands on that prestigious piece of silverware. The Albright Bitter Welsh Cup, presented now by Brian Blake, Managing Director of Welsh Brewers. Roger Gibbins has the cup, congratulated there by the Cardiff City Financial Controller, Rick Wright. There's the cup. That's the passport into European football. And that's a nice smile from Roger Gibbins. Cardiff City have won the 1992 Welsh Cup. And no one is happier than Roger Gibbins.
Well, Carl, that was a fantastic night, and the atmosphere was really tremendous, wasn't it?
Yeah, our supporters have turned out in force again. They've been absolutely brilliant all year, and the result tonight is for the supporters, really. They've been brilliant.
And you got the icing on the cake, the man of the match?
Yeah, I was just pleased to score. I mean, at the end of the day, 1-0, we're happy with that. Well, and hopefully we can do well in Europe next year. Well,
the goal was enough. We can have a look at that. Carl, perhaps you can take us through it.
Well, I can't remember this bit, to be honest. I can remember the ball being knocked in. We'll just have to wait and see for that. I think it's come through from Chris Pike. Yeah, he's flicked it on. I just thought I'd hook it over, but I've slipped there. I've seen the keeper coming out and I've just hit it. It's gone through his legs. I thought at first it might just go over the bar, but hit the back of the net. Brilliant.
Now you're level on goals with Chris Pike, 28 each. You're going to have to wait till next season to sort it out.
I think that's the best way for it to finish. I'm quite happy with that. Chris said to me after the game, well, we've ended up the same, and I'm quite happy ending up the same, to be honest.
Consolation, I suppose, for missing out on promotion, but this is a night to remember.
Yeah, like I say, we've done it for our supporters, really. They've been brilliant all year, and just made up for them.
Well done, Carl.
Thank you very much.
Well, Eddie, you've had a smile on your face for the last hour and a half. That really was some night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just about capped a good season, really. I just wish we'd have got promotion, Alan, but it wasn't to be. But we finished up with a trophy, and that's a thank you to the fans, really, because they've been magnificent all season, and I'm just glad we could give them something at the end.
Tell us a bit about this Barmy Army of yours.
I don't know. I mean, for some reason, I mean, they seem to have taken to me, and I mean, I love them, and I mean, they've made my first season very encouraging, and I've enjoyed it. It's a great club, great crowd, and I hope that I'm here for a few years.
Have you got the formula now, Eddie, to go on and make a mark in Europe?
I think, you know, I'm going to sort of look at the situation next week and my retain list and things like that. But maybe 4 or 5 players are going to come in just to strengthen the squad. Also, I think that will help us in Europe, and the people I get in will have a bit of quality.
But this has been a night for you that you won't forget in a hurry.
No, it's been a great night for me, and I just like to say Hensford, I thought, you know, they give everything and they battled well, and John Baldwin should be proud of them. I thought they give us a hard game tonight.
Lovely. I think you've earned your refreshment.
Thanks very much.
Well, John, that really was a terrific night, and you brought an army of supporters. They really got behind your team tonight.
Yeah, I think the team and the supporters have done the West Midlands and particularly Hensford Town. I think they've both done them proud tonight.
What did you say to them about this cup competition and this evening?
I told them before they went out there, nothing to fear, great stadium, there was going to be a terrific atmosphere, go out there and enjoy it. We didn't quite enjoy it as well as we might have done.
But you've had a great season yourself. You secured promotion.
Yes, we've secured promotion. Tonight was the icing on the cake. We didn't quite get there. I felt we deserved perhaps a little bit more than we got.
Well, tell us a little bit, from an English point of view, what it's like to play here at the National Ground.
Oh, it's superb. As far as the majority of my team are concerned, it's the biggest night in their life, biggest night in my life in terms of football. The atmosphere tonight was absolutely unbelievable. Our fans, the Cardiff fans, excellent.
Well, you can go home, and you've certainly done Welsh football proud, and well done, Hednesford.
Thanks very much indeed.
So that's it. It's been a great night here, a terrific atmosphere at the National Ground, Cardiff Arms Park, and Welsh football has had a successful evening. Cardiff City, well, they missed out on promotion this season, but they've got European football to look forward to. Good night.